Alrighty, folks, you know I'm feeling great on a Tuesday morning because we're now 4-0 in our last four chairman package plays on my premium page. We had the Cubs on the money line yesterday, and they shut out the Giants 5-0. Justin Steele went 8 strong innings, striking out a dozen and allowing only a couple of hits. And the good news is, folks, I have another chairman package play going off here today. And the good news about signing up for my chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, guys, you also get access to my Chairman podcast, absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. I currently have over 680 members who are signed up and active on my premium page right now. And if you don't need access to every single personal play of mine, but you think maybe you could use like one a day, I also have a package for you. It's called my $1.99 Daily Best Play. It gives you access to one of my premium selections every single day for the next 30 days. The math works out to be just 6 cents a day. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my premium page. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side and total. And what I do on my premium page is actually share with you which ones I like the best. I'm hitting at 80% my last 10 daily best plays. I'm 2-0 my last couple of extra daily picks. And once again, folks, I'm 4-0 my last 4 chairman membership package plays on my premium site. And once again, that is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Big slate here today. We're going to start off with the Twins at the Guardians, 6:10 p.m. East. Minnesota's minus $1.15, totals 8 runs. Sonny Gray for the Twins, Tanner Bybee for Cleveland. And as good as Bybee's been, the Guardians have had all kinds of problems at the plate this year. They're averaging under 3.6 runs a game at Progressive Field. And in their last 10 gatherings with Minnesota, the Twins held Cleveland to just 3.9 runs a game. Now, we could see some more of that here today with Sonny Gray on the mound. The righty's got 156 strikeouts and an ERA in the 2s. And no real shock here, folks. The righty Gray's got himself a 1.17 whip. Now, the Twins put up 20 runs against the Guardians just yesterday. It's actually the 3rd time that Minnesota scored double-digit runs in their last 10 outings. Royce Lewis hits .317 with an OPS in the 900s. Meanwhile, Max Kepler's the club leader in home runs. 7 out of Minnesota's last 10 meetings with Cleveland did stay under the total. The Guardians went 5-1 to the under in their last 6 Tanner Bybee starts. Give me the Twins minus $1.15, under 8. Next game, little NL Central action. Brewers at the Pirates, 6:35 East. Milwaukee's minus $1.85 in the Steel City, totals 8.5. Brandon Woodruff for Milwaukee. Andre Jackson possible for Pittsburgh. Now, Jackson has done a nice job in a handful of appearances. The righty's got an ERA in the 2s after 24-plus innings. Jackson's also averaged over a strikeout an inning, and he has a .97 whip. And as bad as the Pirates have been at the plate, they do find a way to get base runners. They're walking over 3.5 times a game in the box. Brian Reynolds has the most hits on the roster. Jack Sawinski's got the most home runs. They're taking on a Milwaukee team who lost 4 out of their last 6. That includes a 42 loss just to Pittsburgh last night. And if you think the Pirates lineup is bad, it's actually the Brewers who are a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup in the entire league. The Brewers' last 4 road games all stayed under the total. They're also 65% to the under against the NL Central. Give me the Pirates plus 1.5, under 8.5. Next ball game, Red Sox Rays, 6:40 p.m. East. Tampa Bay's minus $1.55 at the Trop, totals 8 runs. Zach Eflin for Tampa Bay, Cutter Crawford for Boston. And unfortunately, Cutter Crawford now has a losing record on the season with an ERA in the 4s. Boston took the loss in 5 out of their last 8 Cutter Crawford starts. And as a pitching staff, the Bo Sox, they definitely have a tough time keeping runners off the base paths. They're in the bottom 5 in hits allowed per game. They're facing a top 3 run-producing lineup in the American League in the Tampa Bay Rays. Yandy Diaz hits .322 with an OPS in the 900s. Isaac Paredes, he's the club leader in home runs and RBI. And even if the bats go cold here for Tampa, they are in good hands with 13-win Zach Eflin. He's got 151 strikeouts and a 1.02 whip. Certainly a good year here on the bump here for the righty. 3 out of Tampa's last 5 contests at Tropicana Field got over the total. Boston went 9-1 in the over in their last 10. Give me Tampa Bay minus $1.55, over 8. Next ball game, Dodgers Marlins, 6:40 p.m. East. The LA Dodgers are minus 155, total 7.5. Clayton Kershaw for Los Angeles, Jesus Luzardo for Miami. And even though Luzardo's got some decent numbers, Marlins just don't want to win for the guy. Miami took the loss in 4 out of their last 5 Jesus Luzardo starts. And a lot of that is due to some poor plate appearances. These guys are a bottom 3 run-producing lineup in the National League. Now, they also have to face a 12-win Clayton Kershaw, who's got a 2.48 ERA and a 1.02 whip. The lefty Kershaw is also backed by the highest-scoring lineup on the road in the league. These guys are actually scoring more runs a game while traveling than any other roster in the bigs right now. Freddie Freeman's hitting .335 with an OPS nearly in the thousands. Meanwhile, Mookie Betts on the I almost said other side, same side. Mookie Betts, he is in the top, other side of the diamond, other side of the, yeah. Mookie Betts, top 5 home runs, top 5 RBI, top 5 OPS. And more bad news for Miami. Slugger Jorge Soler, he is questionable with a hip injury. Keep an eye on him. Now, total-wise, the Marlins allowed 5 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with Los Angeles. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. Now, the Dodgers have seen a ton of overs away from home. These guys are 68% to the over when they bat first. Give me the Dodgers minus $1.55, over 7.5. All right, next ball game, Mariners Reds, 6:40 p.m. East. Seattle's $1.55, totals 10 runs. Bryce Miller for Seattle, Connor Phillips for Cincinnati. Now, the 22-year-old Connor Phillips makes his major league debut here today. He went just 4-5 in the minor leagues this year. He was at AA and AAA. He actually had a .469 ERA in his stint with AAA Louisville. And at the plate, the Reds as a team, they're striking out more times a game than most clubs in the National League. They're actually in the bottom 3 in strikeouts per game at the plate in that particular category. Ellie De La Cruz, he has the most strikeouts on the team. He's hitting just .243, and he's played in only half the games. Pretty impressive to lead the team in strikeouts, but only playing half the games as the starter, so it's pretty alarming. He's also got to face Bryce Miller, who's got 100 strikeouts and a 1.05 whip. And as a whole, these Mariner pitchers have been tough to hit against. They allow fewer runs a game than any other franchise besides one. Now, oddly enough, 5 out of Miller's last 7 starts did get over the total. Give me Seattle minus $1.55, over 10. Next contest, Tigers, Yankees, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. New York's minus 240, totals 8. Garrett Cole for the Yankees, Alex Faedo for Detroit. Now, Faedo's just 2-5 on the year with an ERA very close to 5. And despite their 4-game winning streak, the Tigers have consistently struggled at the dish against New York. Detroit's averaged just 2.1 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with the Bombers. And more bad news for Detroit fans. They're going to have to face Garrett Cole here today, who continues to throw well despite the Yankees' record. Cole's 12-4 in the year with an ERA in the 2s. He's also punched out 188 batters, and he also has a 1.04 whip. Now, the Pinstripers have been very tough to hit against this year. They're allowing fewer hits per 9 than any other pitching staff besides one. 7 out of New York's last 10 gatherings with Detroit did fall under the total. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 ball games themselves over the past couple of weeks. Now, oddly enough, on the other side of things, the Tigers are 7-3 to the under in their last 10 as well. Give me the Yankees minus 1.5, under 8 runs in that tight window. Next ball game, Mets Nationals 7:05 East. The Mets are minus $1.40 in the nation's capital. Totals 9 runs. Jose Quintana for New York. Patrick Corbin for Washington. Now, Patty Corbs has a dozen losses on the year with an ERA just about in the 5s. Now, these Washington pitchers have also been terrible at Nationals Park. They're allowing over 9.4 hits a game on their own diamond. Now, they're taking on a Mets lineup who doesn't strike out often. These guys are in the top 3 in the National League and fewest strikeouts per 9 on the road. Pete Alonso, he's got the second most RBI in the majors right now, third most home runs. It's a shame not a lot of people are talking about him because the Mets are so bad. But yeah, Alonso, another strong year out of him. Once again, second in RBI, third in home runs. Teammate Jeff McNeil, he's the team leader in hits. And despite starting pitcher Jose Quintana's record, he has actually had a couple of good showings here this year. He comes into today's contest with a 3.26 ERA. Now, New York went 8-2 to the under in their last 10. Jose Quintana saw all of his starts this year fall under the total except for one. Give me the Mets minus $1.40, under 9. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Cardinals at the Braves, 7:20 p.m. East. This game's currently off the board. Mike Soroka, possible for Atlanta. Miles Mikolas, maybe for Seattle, for St. Louis. And if Mikolas does get the start here today, just keep in mind that he's got double-digit losses on the season. Now, the righty Mikolas also has himself a sloppy 4.66 ERA. And much of the lack of success of St. Louis this year, it's been because of their pitching staff. Their pitching stinks. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to spit it out. I'm so disgusted that it's hard to even communicate with you that the Cardinals pitchers stink collectively. They allow more hits per game than any other franchise besides Colorado. They're facing an Atlanta lineup who leads the majors in runs scored and hits. Ronald Acuna is in the top 5 in batting average and OPS. He's also the league leader in stolen bases. And he's got a staggering 6.8 wins above replacement. Matt Olson's got more RBI than any other player in the game. Give me Atlanta minus 1.5. They're going to be favored in that one. We're going to take them on the run line. And once again, it's off the board, so I don't currently have a line posted here for you on the total. All right, next matchup, another divisional game. AL Central, White Sox at the Royals, 7:40 p.m. East. Kansas City's minus $1.20 at Kauffman Stadium. Totals 9.5. Brady Singer for the Royals. Dylan Cease for Chicago. And despite Cease's crappy record, strikeouts are still up again this year for the righty. He's fanned 176 batters in just 148 innings. Meanwhile, as a team, the White Sox do have a whole lot of strikeouts on the mound this year. They're actually in the top 3 in the American League in strikeouts per 9 on the bump. They're facing a Royals lineup who doesn't really hit all that well. These guys are in the bottom 3 in the majors in run production. And out of 41 divisional ball games this year, the Royals got the W only 14 times. That's good for just 34% in that particular category. Now, pitching-wise, Brady Singer's got double-digit losses and an ERA in the 5s. 7 out of the Royals' last 10 gatherings with the White Sox stayed under the posted total. The White Sox are 63% to the under against divisional opponents themselves. Give the White Sox plus $1, under 9.5. Next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Giants at the Cubs, 7:40 p.m. East. Chicago's minus 145, totals 10.5. Kyle Hendricks for the Cubbies, Sean Manaea for San Francisco. Now, Manaea's got himself a 1.32 whip and an ERA basically just about in the 5s. Now, as a team, the Giants have yet to record a win in September. They're on a 4-game skid, and they averaged under 1.1 runs a game during that short stretch. And in their last 10 gatherings with the Cubs, they've been held to just 7.6 hits a game. Now, they're facing Kyle Hendricks here today, who's got an ERA in the 3s, along with a 1.13 whip. The Cubbies are also pounding the baseball at Wrigley Field. As a matter of fact, they're a top 5 run-producing lineup in the majors. Cody Bellinger, he has the highest batting average in the lineup, most RBI on the team as well. Meanwhile, Nico Hoerner's the club leader in hits. Give me the Cubs minus 145, over 10.5. Next matchup, little AL West action. Astros, Rangers, 8:05 East. Both teams are minus $1.10, totals 8.5. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers, Framber Valdez for Houston. Now the 10-win Framber Valdez has an ERA in the low 3s, and he's also punched out 164 batters. And no real surprise here, folks, the lefty's got himself a solid 1.10 whip. Now these Houston pitchers, they've been very tough to hit against on the road. They're allowing under 7.7 hits a game in their travels. That's nearly a league low. It's nearly best in the majors. Now they're facing a Rangers club on the other side of things who lost 4 out of their last 5 themselves. And they've had problems with strikeouts at the plate this year. I know they score a lot, but they do have problems with striking out. These guys fan more times a game at home than most clubs in the American League. And as good as Eovaldi's been this year, the Rangers have struggled keeping Houston off the base paths. As a matter of fact, the Astros have averaged over 6.4 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with Texas. Now, the Rangers went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Houston saw 5 out of their last 7 road games get over the total themselves. Give me Houston minus $1.10, over 8.5. Next matchup, O's Angels, 9:38 East. Baltimore's minus $1.55 on the road, totals 8.5. Dean Kramer for the O's, Reed Detmers for Los Angeles. Now, Detmers is just 3-10 with an ERA in the 5s. These Angels pitchers as a whole, they've also struggled at home this year. They're giving up 5.2 runs a game at Angels Stadium. Now they're facing a Baltimore lineup who has little problem scoring runs. These guys are a top 5 run producing lineup on the road. Adley Rutschman leads the roster in hits. Anthony Santander's got the most RBI. Now they're backing up a 12-win Dean Kramer, who's got 134 strikeouts and a 1.28 whip. 8 out of Baltimore's last 10 outings did get over the posted total. The Angels went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me Baltimore minus 155, over 8.5. Next matchup, Blue Jays Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. Toronto's minus $1.80, totals 8 runs. Chris Bassett for the Jays, Ken Waldichuk for Oakland. Now, Waldy's recorded only 2 wins and 114 innings of work this year. He's got an ERA just about in the 6s, along with a 1.67 whip. Now, these A's hitters are also dead last in run production and hits. They're facing a 13-win Chris Bassett, who's got 151 punch-outs and a 1.19 whip. And even if Bassett struggles here today, the Blue Jays should be able to stay in the game offensively. They're a top 3 hit-producing lineup on the road in the bigs. Vlad Guerrero, he leads the roster in homers and RBI. George Springer, he currently leads the club in runs scored. Toronto, when it comes to the total, they went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Oakland saw 3 out of their last 4 at the Coliseum get over the total themselves. Give me Toronto minus 1.5, over 8 runs. Next contest, Rockies D-backs, NL West action. 9:40 Eastern first pitch at Chase Field. Arizona's the $2 favorite at home, totals 9 runs. Brandon Pfaadt for Arizona, Kyle Freeland for Colorado. Now Freeland's just 5-14 with an ERA in the 5s. Meanwhile, at the plate, the Rockies average a National League worst 3.7 runs a game on the road. They are really struggling offensively when they travel. They're facing an Arizona club on the other side who's had little issue touching home plate in recent gatherings. The D-backs are averaging over 6.2 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Colorado. Christian Walker's got 30 home runs, and he's got the 10th most RBI in the majors. Ketel Marte is the team leader in hits. 4 out of Arizona's last 7 at Chase Field got over the total. Colorado went 60% to the over in their last 10. Give me the Diamondbacks minus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. It's going to be in that Phillies-Padres game, 9:40 p.m. East. San Diego's minus $1.20, totals 9 runs. Pedro Avila for San Diego, Michael Lorenzen for Philly. Now, Lorenzen's recorded only 1 loss through 32 innings with the Phillies. He's got an overall ERA this year, still in the 3s. And at the plate, the Phils have had little issue getting base runners. These guys are in the top 5 in the bigs in hits per game. Bryce Harper's in the top 10 in the National League in batting average. He's got an OPS of .871. Meanwhile, Kyle Schwarber's got 40 home runs, and he ranks in the top 10 in the National League in RBI. Now, they're facing a Padres team who took the loss in 2 out of their last 3 Pedro Avila starts. Meanwhile, as a team, the Pods are 4 games below 500 at home against National League opponents. And most of that is due to some poor plate appearances. The Pods are averaging just 7.8 hits a game at Petco Park. Give me Philadelphia plus $1, under 9 runs. And with that, folks, now it is time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Twins minus $1.15, under 8. Pirates plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Tampa Bay Rays minus 155, over 8. I'm 4-0. My last 4 chairman plays on my premium page. And the good news is I have another chairman member tier package pick going off here today. The link is in my bio. LA Dodgers minus 155, over 7.5. Mariners minus $1.55, over 10. Yankees minus 1.5, under 8 runs. Mets minus $1.40, under 9. Braves minus 1.5, getting the job done for some run line cash. White Sox plus $1, under 9.5. Cubs minus 145, over 10.5 runs. Astros minus $1.10, over 8.5. Orioles minus 155, over 8.5 runs. Blue Jays minus 1.5, over 8. Diamondbacks minus 1.5, over 9 runs. With my next and final free pick, give me the Phillies plus $1, under 9. With that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my website. Just a friendly reminder here, guys, if you do end up signing up for a membership on patreon.com/BrockPage, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks my chairman package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. It gives you access to every single personal play of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you also get access to my chairman podcast absolutely free. It's included with your purchase. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.